is on fire. You ready?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. #1 podcast on YouTube and Spotify.
We had many people ask if we were down, but we're back up. Zach's
We're
here in
back up.
full winter gear because it's
right.
cold as shit outside.
It's cold as
And,
shit.
no,
See, that's
but
what a lot of
we've
people
been
know.
making a lot of money. We've been making a lot of money. That's like the new. That's
This
like
is-
the new.
this
What
is
is that? The
Gucci.
new Gucci? Yeah, that's the new Gucci
This
camo.
is
line.
Gucci. Yeah. My life's
These are,
changed.
Yeah, our life's changing. You know, like these are
Way
limited
different.
edition. Yeah, yeah. I paid probably like I don't know 600. Did I pay 600 for these glasses?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's
Yeah,
and something
yeah.
insane.
I think I paid 600.
Something insane.
Maybe it was six. It could have been 6,000, but
Yeah. It's
yeah,
hard to
you
tell
know,
these days. Well, whatever it was, dude, the sunglasses were only $150. That's what made it so impressive. Was it was 95% tip.
yeah,
for some reason, you just gave them $6,000 for a pair of $150 Oakleys. I mean,
Well, the reasoning behind that is I feel bad for the workers and the recession that we're having, and
whoa.
myself-
Biden said it's not a recession, so I'm confused.
yeah, man,
He said no recession. Said it did not look like a recession to him.
I must be uneducated on it. Yeah, man. So you said, I did hear something like, we get to some current events, where you're talking about this recession that's not real. I heard on the news, well, not on the news, on the radio, because I don't watch much of the news, but I heard on the radio there was a Texas family, all 4 family members, brother, sister, mother, father, all got arrested because they all stabbed each other. And in these hard times, I think, they all stabbed you. The brother assaulted the sister, and then
with what?
I'm not sure. I think just himself, and then it later escalated to them all. Like I think it was just hands at first. I'm not sure if he had any. Yeah, and then I think it all then escalated to knives, and then
did they put this
they all
on?
stabbed each other. But I don't know. They only arrested the brother, but I think everyone was stabbed. So I don't get how he's the only person. I don't know, but yeah. I think you're gonna see more of that too. Yeah, no. I looked at a statistic, and most people. I'm 26, and I live at home, and most people nowadays, many people my age are still living at home. I know some in my family as well that live at home, and they're 26 years old. And I think you're going to see a lot more stabbings. I'm surprised my parents haven't stabbed me yet. So, what was I saying, you cocksucker?
Something about your mom stabbing you to death in your sleep or something like that.
Oh no, yeah. So, people having to move back home, live at home. You're going to see a lot more of the stabbings, but I had to move back home due to some health issues. Plus, rent is so expensive. I was talking to someone, actually a coworker yesterday. Her rent is like, and it's not bad for the area. Her rent's like $1,400. It's it's like a 2-bedroom, $1,400, but it's in Daphne, which is, if you don't know where Daphne is, it's a nicer part of
Baldwin County,
Alabama. It's not in Mobile, which is why it's nicer. It's not in Mobile, Alabama.
I mean, Mobile's pretty nice, depending on where you're at.
Parts of it, yeah.
Well, Chris, I'm sure
there's parts that are also shit show.
Yeah, there's a few. I'm sure you did hear about the assault weapon ban.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it.
It passed in the House.
So what?
Yeah.
Whose house?
Well, they're going to be coming to your house very soon to confiscate these war machines.
Come to my house.
These automatic killing machines.
No, I don't. My family doesn't believe in guns. But why does as I have like 3 deer mounted behind me? Those were killed with rocks. I jumped out of trees and bludgeoned them over the head
Yes.
with rocks.
Of course.
That's why you see the skulls are fractured back there. But yeah. So what exactly does that entail? Are they just confining that to AR-15 type models? Or are they saying all semi-automatic? Because I heard at one point they were trying to get rid of semi-automatic.
I thought it was for all semi-automatic, but I also haven't done research at all on this topic, so we really shouldn't be doing a podcast acting like we know what we're talking about it. But, hey, why not? So, hopefully things work out. I think everyone should be able to have any type of gun they choose or want to protect their family, to put food on the table, or if they just like shooting stuff. I think it's good. I think all that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I come from a long line of hunters in my family. We hunt, as you can see, the deer heads behind me. We hunt deer. I have a stepfather who hunts turkey.
I'll show you a little
rabbits,
turkey.
Anything that really. Ooh, that's a little turkey. Oh, okay.
It's a little turkey, yeah.
Well, oh man. All right, but yeah, rabbits, deer, dove, duck, killed all of those, I believe. We hunt pretty much everything. Cats, no, we don't hunt the cats, but we could.
Yeah, you could.
That's why we have the Second Amendment. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah. Not only for animals, but people, animals. I was attacked by a deer once.
A deer?
And the situation was frightening, yeah.
Were you armed or unarmed?
Yeah, so I was unarmed. I had these weapons of mass destruction right here, but I didn't have anything else.
So you were unarmed and you were attacked.
Yeah. Unarmed and attacked. And I wish I would have had an AR-15 or an RPG with me at the time of attack, so I could better defend myself. And then we had a little deer in the neighborhood. His name
was Bucky.
Stereotypical pet deer name, Bucky.
Yeah.
Like this is normal.
Oh, I know. Yeah, dude. People who are not from Alabama, they're gonna be watching this going. These guys in Alabama have a pet. They just have pet deers, just for the fun of it.
Yeah. So someone in the neighborhood, they had a pet deer because the deer had got stuck in the fence, and they saved it. The mother had got chased by coyotes. It died, and the fawn had got stuck in the fence. So they, gave this thing life. He was probably about 85, 90 pounds at this time. And if you don't know that deer can do some damage to you, they have sharp hooves. So if they go to doing that little boxing Floyd Mayweather shit that they do, it can really fuck you up. So anyhow, I'm walking down the road, and the deer comes up to me, and it walks up to me just like a dog would, and just kind of pops a squat, just sits down, and so I start kind of petting it, whatever, and I think where I messed up is I kind of lowered myself to its level. I kind of sat down to pet the deer, and once I got eye to eye to the deer, it jumped back up on all fours and it reared its head down at me like it was about to ram me, and I was like, oh shit, and it starts, and it kind of starts trying to rub on my leg with its head and kind of bucking its head into my leg, and I'm like, hey, chill, and then I start trying to walk away, go about my day, walk away from it, and
Whoa.
And then it starts just following me.
Were you in a state with a stand your ground law? Because the deer could have been standing his ground.
we were in the middle of the street. So this isn't like its
Okay.
property or
I'm just
anything.
making sure
I
that
mean,
legally, I'm just trying to, determine the legality of this whole situation. Go ahead.
yeah. So with each time the deer rears up, it's coming at me with 7 or 8 swings, and I have to dodge it, and I'm jumping to the left, I'm jumping to the right, and I'm screaming at this thing because I don't, I could punch this deer, but
Wait. So are you? Well, you can't because it's out of season, and
well, I'm not
and you're
I'm not
not.
trying to kill it. I'm just trying to, and it's self
Well,
defense. I mean, he was coming right at me.
that's your side to the story. I'm sure that
Well, if
Bucky
I kill
would
it, there won't be
like
but
to
one
give his
side,
side.
but
Well,
his side of the story would be underground. But no. So I keep dodging it, and so it turns out, and I was thinking to myself, man, I hope nobody's watching this because I'm just running from this deer. And then it was like political season, right? And at this point, it does it like 3 or 4 times. I'm like out of gas. It's been doing it for like a whole minute, and I run up into the neighbor's yard, and they had one of those little political signs up because I'm tired of, and it's getting like this. If you don't know how damn fast a deer is, this thing's fast as shit. I can only keep this up for so long without like punching it, and I'm afraid if I punch it, I'm gonna like break my hand, or that like I'm gonna cut it myself on its hoof when I try to do it. And so I run up into the yard, and honestly, I was probably about to try to get into this person's house. I was probably going to knock on the door, but I run, and there's one of these political signs, and I pick
I'm
it
just
up.
picturing somebody knock on someone's door and just being like, "Quick, let me inside. A deer's chasing me.
Help!
I'm under attack."
Help! Like bullshit. Like you trying to rob me.
Yeah.
Like I pick up a sign, and by the time I'm running, like my back is to the deer. I run up the hill. Deer can run up a hill way faster than I can, so it's like right on my ass. And I grab this political sign, rip it out, and as soon as I turn around, it's right there, and I just hold it up, and it hits it like 5 or 6 times on this sign, like, and I blocked it all with that sign, and I'm like, holy shit, like. And then about that time, the woman whose house it was, she came out, and she's watching me, and she's just laughing, and I'm screaming at it, and it obviously effed up her sign. It like kind of cut it in half, but and so I'm like, yeah, but as I'm screaming at it then, and it had blocked it, then it finally just like walks away, and I swear the damn thing smirked at me as it did it, and then the woman's just laughing her
Well,
ass
dude,
off.
it sounds like he got the better of that scrap. So
He landed 0 shots. And I landed 1. So I landed 1. It was the Diaz. It was the Diaz slap.
I don't know,
to
dude.
the,
It sounds like he was controlling the pace though. It sounds like you're on your heels.
It was. I wonder if I would have broke my hand. Like, I wonder how hard it is. A deer skull is like if you were to punch it.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Just next time, just shoot on it, take its back, check it out, like Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, dude.
He allegedly choked out a deer.
I
don't
see,
know
and I think
I
think I definitely could have. Maybe not then, but for sure now have that capability. But it was even still, dude. I really would like to not get stitches from a deer hoofs all over me, because I do think like it could definitely
you
cut
shoot.
you
He
up.
had the deer. The deer ends up to have like a really good sprawl. He like sprawls on you, then just like sending shots to the back of your skull, dude.
So I still had to go to Zach's house. Yeah, dude. I still had to go to Zach's house, and so I walked back home, picked up an axe handle, because we just have those laying around in Alabama too from chopping lumber. So I just go home and pick up an axe handle, and I walk back down the road. And about this time, the family who owns said deer was out in their yard, and they're just talking, and they're like petting their deer, whatever they're doing, and so And I walk back down there and I have the axe handle in my hand and I tell him, I'm like, hey, like, you need to watch your deer. It just attacked my ass. I've got this next time, and next time I'm not gonna be so nice. And then about a few months later, I think it really got into some fertilizer, either that or some redneck with a bow and arrow killed it.
Yeah.
But they think someone killed the deer, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always heard, that somebody had poisoned it or something like that, but I guess there's really no telling.
Yeah, I mean, I think it
But
got into some fertilizer, but I wasn't the only person I think it kind of attacked or got aggressive with. But yeah, I mean, you got a deer, a
pretty
buck
weird.
full of testosterone,
Yeah. So you think he was trying to mate with you? Is that what you're
No,
getting
I
at?
think he was trying to mate with someone else, but I think he was trying to establish dominance in this territory. I think he thought I was prowling the streets for some does out there.
Yeah, dude, looking for that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Poor
So
Bucky. He only lived like a year or something like that.
yeah, it was a little over a year. I mean, enough to get
Was
the
it?
buttons, Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So
Well, did you catch any of the fights last night?
yeah, man, watched all of them. They were good. Really good night of fights
Yeah,
last night.
it was a good card. I mean,
Derek Lewis
Nunez
stoppage
is.
was early, but
Yeah, that was. He was hurt though. I mean, he was for sure hurt, but it was definitely early, and it does suck because with the dude like Derek Lewis, like he's one
you
punch.
never
It's
know.
like
I mean, he can come back. Yeah.
expect he can come back. So that definitely was kind of a bummer, dude. Dude, Joe Rogan was going pretty hard in the paint over it, dude. Like in the interview, and I mean, he was just straight up calling it out, calling it what it was, which was a pretty early knockout. I was a little
I mean, you
surprised.
can't like.
I didn't think it was egregious because like it looked like he lost consciousness for a second, and but then it's like when he
I
hit
think he
the
was really hurt, but
it
I
looked
don't know
like
about
I can
losing
see where if you
consciousness.
watch it, like it looked like he was going limp for a split second, and then he goes to pop right back up. And I think what was it? Dan Mergliato was the ref. Whoever I can't remember who it was. I think it was
Yeah,
Dan, but he sees it,
it
and
was
I
Dan.
can kind of see where like you would see that happening and just be like, okay, it's like about to be over. He definitely pulled the trigger too soon. For sure, but I can kind of see where you would make that
Well, there's
mistake.
just you saw Kaikara France dip down. You saw him dip down and drop
Yeah.
his whole body, like hunch forward, and then that just like I think that just kind of opened it up perfect. Like he just came, like you said, he came running at him with it, and he made him do that same hunch over, and then it just left his body open. And man, it was a great kick, man.
Well,
But
yeah, yeah,
you know,
dude. It was. I mean, Marino was just a better fighter. I mean, that's all it was. How?
interestingly though, two judges had Marino down in
Down.
that fight up until that point. Yeah. Um,
I
which it was
mean,
very close, 2 rounds.
yeah,
And
it was
Kaikara
close.
France is winning the third until then. I
Yeah,
mean, he'd cut him open with that elbow.
it would.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, it.
but
Judges these days
Marino's
are
a dog,
crazy,
man.
but
I love Marino. Yeah, yeah. You never know with
well, that's
them.
because
It doesn't matter in the end.
I mean, that's because he's your size. That's why you like all these smaller dudes. But I tell you what was interesting though was the face off after the fight with
He's
Figgy.
talented.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the worst face off ever.
it
But
kind of it was like,
you
dude,
know,
that's on Marino though because Figgy was setting it up to go in there and have a pretty intense thing, and then Marino just pretty much went good guy mode on him and apologizes and tries to be buddy buddy, and so because
yeah, man. I didn't
Figgy
really.
was coming in there to be intense, straight up. Was going in there to be intense. He had he had that sweet sweatshirt on with the cat and just just the just what do you call them, sequins or whatever it was, like sparkly things. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know, man. You're like talking about this dude's outfit. I don't know,
Dude,
but
it looked good, dude. It looked good. It was
you want to
unique.
kiss him?
He
Yeah,
was
man.
rocking it. He was rocking it for sure.
Yeah, he had some swag, but yeah, he came in there ready, and I like Marino more than Figgy, and I won't like, mince words about that, but I just think Marino is more skilled overall, but yeah, man, it was not a good face off.
Yeah,
But
but
I do want. I don't think anybody has beef about seeing it again. I would like to see something else, but like I'm not opposed to it. But
I will
in
say though,
both
dude.
guys, I think it's going to be a coin flip every time. I think with those guys, but
Yeah, I mean, dude, I just don't know why they did the
Marino's got the
interim.
only finish.
Yeah, he does.
Well, there's been rumors that Figgy was debating moving up to 35, but honestly, I think he's too short for 35. But
I,
I mean,
I feel like there's something we don't know because they pulled that trigger fast on that interim belt. Like they pulled the
well,
trigger
he
pretty
was
fast.
debating going up. He's came out publicly and said he
They didn't
has
give him a whole lot of time
big
to think
issue
about it.
cutting weight. No,
Well, dude, he's missed weight a
not at
few
all.
times, so obviously.
Yeah, he's So who knows what he does? But yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I do wish they would have played it up. And I did hear Chelsonen say, and I agree with this. Like, you're already in a cage fight. Why then do you have to like set an example for
Oh yeah, yeah, it
your
makes
daughter? I mean, like,
yeah,
man, you're bloodied up. Like, dude,
yeah.
just as soon as he gets in the cage, you should have just shoved him, and then it gets broken up, and then you're like, and then it gets broken up. You don't have to even say anything nasty, and then you just say, yeah, like I'm ready whenever I heal from this cut. Give me 5 months, 6 months, and we'll run it.
Dude,
Whatever.
isn't it so just kind of weird when two people that don't speak the same language are talking shit and they have translators? Because it's kind of like it's like as they say it, the person you're saying it to doesn't know what you're saying. So then, like,
Yeah,
it's
you can see
being
like Figgy's looking at him like, I
like
wonder what he's
like
saying. He's ready to like talk some shit.
yeah, dude. I mean, Marino's being nice, and he's just sitting there like mean mugging him, like he don't know what to do. I mean, he's waiting to hear the story from his boy. And dude, what if his boy just like changes the words a little bit because we don't know, and he like just he hears
Yeah.
something, and he's like, Marino's just like, hey man, I love you, I'm sorry, let's have a great fourth fight, good luck. And then he turns around, he's like, dude, this dude's talking shit about your mom. I don't want to repeat to you what he said, but it was
He
some
just
pretty bad
completely
stuff.
twists up the words.
Yeah.
Marino's like, I want to set a good example for my daughter. And then the translator's like, he doesn't know the language that well either. So he's just like, he said something about like, he thinks like, he wants to like get with your daughter. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
and like just escalates it. Like, what? Like,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The rivalry would be so much better if they spoke the same language. Like when you don't speak the same language, like
That's on Figgy. Marino can speak English. That's on Figgy.
that ain't his fault. What do you? What?
Dude,
Whoa,
every
whoa,
UFC
What are you trying to?
champion.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
Whoa.
You trying to say English is superior
I'm
to
trying
other
to-
languages? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is every UFC champion, with the exception of two, him and Zhang Wei Li, have, you couldn't see but one finger there. Him and Zhang Wei Li have been the only champions that have not learned the English language.
Ever?
Dude, Khabib went out there and learned the English language. Yeah.
Well, dude, it's kind of true, but like Silva didn't speak very good English when he was champ. Like especially at first, like it kind of came.
Well enough.
I
mean, he still
What
tried.
about
Though.
Aldo, dude? Aldo don't speak good English.
He can speak some.
It's
though.
not good.
He can speak some though. Viggy doesn't know what hello means.
I don't know, dude. I think Aldo's English ain't that great.
I mean, you're not comparing like Viggy's like looking at you like he don't know what shit means. But
yeah.
For them to capture the market, they'll have to learn it anyway if they really wanted to. I mean,
dude, Brazil's a pretty big market.
Yeah. Okay. How many people in Brazil are buying the pay-per-views, Zach?
Some. It's a big country.
Some,
It's a
yeah,
big
but
country.
like,
I mean, I'm sure. Dude, think about how many people.
I mean, how many TVs do they have over there,
Dude,
Zach?
they've got. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know how many people live there, but I know the country itself is pretty big. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of money in that market. I would imagine America's is bigger, obviously, but I would still feel like,
Oh, it's
yeah, but I would still feel
that's the main market though.
right, but
That's the target market.
right, but I still feel like that's a pretty big market. So if he can be big over there, like that's still, I'm sure the UFC's still making a pretty penny off him. I'm sure he's doing well for himself as, because dude, think about it. I mean, I don't know for sure. I have no idea, but I would think that like Nunez is probably like, even though she's a fairly big star over here now, she's probably a massive star. I would think in Brazil. Like
Well, yeah, no shit.
So,
But I mean, it's like I'm just talking about for like to capture the audience for like, for things like that, which you're talking about. I'm not talking about just the fight itself or their home country, but for like post-fight interviews, for whenever you're trying to pump up a fight, it's beneficial to know the English language. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
if you're
there's no doubt that
if I was fighting in a Spanish organization and I'm fighting in Mexico or Brazil all the time, I'm gonna learn some Portuguese and Spanish so I can, dude. Like perfect example, dude. Conor McGregor learned some Portuguese just to talk better shit to Aldo because Aldo didn't speak good English.
Well, dude, apparently he was speaking Spanish.
He thought he was going to invade his favela. He thought he was going to invade his favela.
I thought he said favela.
It's called a favela.
Oh, well. Dude, I mean, didn't they say he was speaking...
Did you say vanilla?
No, didn't they say he was speaking Spanish, though, and not Portuguese? Or is that not true?
Who, Aldo or Conor? Conor, I
that's
don't
what
know what he was speaking. I don't speak Portuguese.
I know I don't know either.
Sure, it was Portuguese.
But because that's what RDA was saying. Like RDA was saying that, dude, this guy's saying he's speaking Spanish, not Portuguese. We speak Portuguese in Brazil. I'm Brazilian. Like that's what he was saying. So I don't know if like
that's just funnier anyway. Then
funnier that Conor didn't do enough research to like figure out the language. Like think about it, dude. If you spent enough time, you studied enough
to form a few sentences.
So you put that much time into it because I mean he said it pretty like he didn't stutter. You know he's
well.
practiced that.
Yeah.
But then you find out that you practiced the wrong language. Like you say,
he's speaking French.
You say something to somebody, and they just like look at like you're prepared for them to just be shocked that you're speaking their language, and then you say something, they look at you like even more confused. You know, like, or maybe Conor did that on purpose.
You just mess up the language so bad, you're like, you are the champion instead of like I'm the champion. Like you're so a champion,
and he's just like
he's like
thank you, gracias. Yeah.
He's
funny.
Yeah.
Man.
Nosotros championes. Yeah.
Or yeah, if he like
dude, Dana White did say that nobody gets a bigger turnout for like autographs and shit than Marino.
I'm not. I mean, not ever. I mean, I'm sure that's not like 100% correct, but
I mean,
because what Connor's out there signing autographs, who's having more people?
I don't even know if Connor signs autographs. Did I send you that video recently where he was at a party and it was the wrong time to do it, but somebody had like one of those bucket hats on that you wear like when you're out in the sun, and some fan, like I guess it was obviously a fan, threw him this bucket hat like across like this roped off section where he was partying with like a bunch of women that weren't his girlfriend or whatever, and they threw him the hat, and then he just like grabs it and like, it falls on the ground, and he like looks up at him, like kind of makes fun of him. He smiles, gives him a thumbs up, and then just starts stomping on it and flips him off. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it does get old, like having to deal with that shit all the time. But that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many autographs Connor's signing though. That
I
being
mean,
said,
these days I'm sure he isn't signing a ton, but I mean, if he were to do a signing, I'm sure there'd be tons of people there. Same with like Izzy and you know, I would think Masvidal probably would have a whole lot of people. Nate Diaz, dude, if Nate Diaz is doing a sign, there's going to be a bunch of people there.
oh yeah,
Speaking of Nate Diaz, dude, how
yeah,
about
man.
him
But
fighting your boy, my boy, Chimaev?
comes
Yeah,
comes
comes
out.
out.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, dude. I'm gonna bet on
I
Nate.
hate that, dude. I hate that
Um,
fight. I hate that fight. First off, I hate it because for one, I like both of them, so I'm not sure who I'm going to root for. I don't even know if I'm going to be rooting for anyone, to be honest. But for two, it also makes no sense for either one of them.
I'm gonna give you a situation. It's gonna be 5 rounds. You already know it's gonna be five
Right.
rounds. And Kamzat did get tired
Yeah,
in
no,
his
he
last
did.
one. What if Kamzat gasses and Nate
Well, then
puts
okay,
it on him?
it's a super good, super badass win. He can lead the UFC with like all the power in the world and just say whatever he wants to about him. Go fight for Bellator or one or whoever he wants, and make I'm sure make a lot of money. But for one, I'm not sure that's going to happen. Like I don't think that's going to happen. But like,
I'm gonna put at least $50
but
down.
that's the only way the fight's going to be interesting though. Or not, excuse me, not interested because it's an interesting fight, but that's the only way. Like to me, one of them is going to have like a great outcome after the fight. Because dude, if Chimaev goes in there and kills Nate, what are we going to say? I mean, like, because if
Yeah,
he's the
I
guy he's
mean,
supposed to be, he should. Because he's way bigger than Nate,
I mean, and I think most people
right?
expect him to. Yeah,
So
he's
like,
way
if he
bigger
goes
than
out there
Nate,
and does
but
that, then what? We're like, okay. I mean, I get why he's doing it. I'm sure he's going to have like a good payday, but I just would have rather seen him fight a top 5 guy. I just would rather, yeah,
I
because
would,
like,
yeah, and at
because like,
55,
right,
at
because I
55,
feel
not
like he's at the
70.
point in his career right now where like he doesn't need to be chasing these money fights yet. Like, let's see if he's Kamzat first. Let's see him fight another top 5 guy. The go or for the title. I'd be cool if he had a title shot, But I'm saying a 5 and up guy, yeah,
Oh,
like
you're talking about, yeah,
yeah,
for
like
Kamzat, yeah.
an elite guy. That's who he needs. And then for Nate, like, why are you giving Nate a top guy at a weight class that he's really not even big enough for? It's not his best weight class. He needs to go back down to 155. But also, like, it's I get the UFC's doing it because it's the last fight on Nate's contract, and they're expecting Khamzat to go out there and kill him. And it's their last
That's why they're
chance to
doing
make a
it.
little bit of
But
money off of Nate. I get why the UFC's kind of doing it. If you're going from like a sort of a business side of it, but like for Nate, like what they if you take the business, like the whole fact that Nate only has one fight left and the UFC trying to get over on him, if you take that away, like just give him. I would have loved to see him fight Connor, but obviously he wants to fight before then. But if he was wanting to fight at welterweight again, I would have rather have seen him fight Masvidal again, or like
yeah,
I
I would have liked to have
because
seen that
but
or
yeah
Connor
because
really,
if because
or Poirier. I
that
really
would have been
wanted to see that fight, and
way
it
better.
never happened.
That's way better because even though Poirier's a top 5 guy at lightweight, he'd be coming up in weight, weight we hadn't seen him at, and it'd be the
And then
size would be
and
better.
we could have seen them both at
Right. Or
55.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Which
it would be.
I think when they were talking about it, they were talking about doing it 170. Because I think Dustin was kind of, hey, I won't have to cut weight. We're really the same size anyway. Plus, I can make money off it.
Yeah, I
But
mean
no,
that's
I
what
would.
that's
I
what a
mean,
lot of them are doing.
right. Well, dude,
Connor
if
was
I
doing
mean,
that.
I
He
would
did that with
much rather
Cowboy.
the fight have been him versus Dustin at 155. I mean, I feel like what they should be doing is, if you're just asking me what I would in a perfect world like to see, Nate do would be go down to 55 and fight a top 5 guy, whether it be Chandler, Poirier, anybody, a top 5 guy. Could,
Man, him
dude,
and
let him
Gaethje would be the biggest just
because dude,
bleed
if he
event.
beats a top 5 guy at 155, I say give him a title shot from there. You know, because why
Yeah,
not?
dude,
Because for one, he's a big draw.
yeah, I mean,
Because the truth of the matter is, dude, if Connor comes back and he beats a top 5 guy, they're gonna give him a title shot because he's Connor.
I would have loved to have seen Nate versus Charles Oliveira. Fight somebody at 55. You can fight him at 170, but fight a top 5 155 guy. You can get a title shot after you have
One
one
guy
win. You
beat one guy, and you got a really good shot of beating him. It's a way better matchup.
And he has
why are you wanting to fight Kamzat?
A really good shot of beating.
We already know that you're like a tough guy. Everyone thinks that you're already a dog.
Dana White said Nate wanted that
That's
fight.
what I'm saying. Like, why? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you were his manager,
crazy,
you'd probably go to him and be like, "Hey, man, I got this great idea. This, and this," and then he's just like, "Hey, let's go fight Chandler. You can make the weight. You have probably a fairly good shot of beating him. Then you get a title shot. You make all this money." He's like, "Nah, I want Kamzat. I want the scariest guy in the division that I really shouldn't even be in. A guy that can barely make the weight anyway. I mean, it's going to be a full-time 185er before long, you know. He's going to fight at welterweight.
It's going to be interesting, though, because I think Kamzat's going to try and take him down, and we'll see how – maybe that's Nate's game plan.
He's going to have to.
I don't know, because I know he's going to try and get
We're going to see Nate's guard, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%, we're going to see Nate on his back at some point. He may submit him. I will be surprised if he loses this fight, though. Or excuse me, I'll be surprised if Kamzat loses, though. I think he's too big. I think he's an animal. I know Nate's got great jiu-jitsu, but guess who else had great jiu-jitsu? You know, he just fought Burns, and which, I mean, that ended up being a largely striking contest, but how many people on this earth can fight Burns and Burns be like, all right, my best path to victory is to strike with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, not many. And he won.
I think that Burns still kind of won.
I mean, I thought Kamzat won, but it was pretty close. But I'm saying, as far as like a grappling perspective, you would say that he got the better of Burns, and I'm just saying that it was. I mean, dude, he.
I mean, like
I thought he got the better.
Burns had some sick.
Oh, dude, he had some sick defense and stuff, but I just thought that.
Yeah.
I thought he got the better of it regardless. It was very close, and I'm just kind of looking at it like, okay, his jiu-jitsu's sick, but is it better than Gilbert Burns's? I don't know. Just from a size. I mean,
we'll see.
I don't know.
The guard, I would say the guard's probably better on Nate. We'll see.
He's
probably so lanky,
man. I think they both are probably really good everywhere.
Yeah.
But he may have a better guard. Gilbert may be better on top.
Yeah.
Gilbert's probably definitely.
He's
probably got better wrestling and trips and stuff and judo. You know, probably
for sure. And then I'm interested to see how that guard goes. But you know, hopefully it goes well for Nate. I'm a Diaz fan.
What'd you think about Pena's guard last night? It was active.
She had her.
I mean,
you know,
she was close.
I think it was late in those rounds. She had she was trying to get the omoplata, and I think they were just too slippery.
Was she grabbing the glove?
And then at that point,
yeah.
What you said? Was she grabbing the glove?
But I mean, but it's kind of one of the things where it's like a lot, yeah, because you won't risk
grabbing their hand,
and it's just there, like you're gripping.
Yeah, and it goes over your wrist.
Yeah, you can't just tell people, hey, you can't have wrist control.
I don't.
In grappling scenarios, that'd be like.
Yeah, so I mean.
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb. But yeah, I mean, like it was too slippery though, you know. And then at that point, also like when she had those omoplatas, I was really hoping, and maybe she doesn't have it, but like at that point, you're already getting beat up on bottom a little bit. Like, and her leg was there to take a few times. Like, I was wondering, maybe just go for it. I mean, the transition was right there to underhook that leg
Yeah.
and go to it, and I don't, and I think she really could have sat Nunez
Well,
on her
the
butt
thing
with it,
with
but you're already getting beat up. Risk
I
it
thought
is
maybe
my
a couple
thought.
times she should have attacked a triangle a little bit more. But the thing with the omoplata dude, for those that don't know, is like to finish it. Generally, there's a few tricks, but generally you want to put their shoulder on the mat on the floor. So if you're attacking an omoplata on someone, you want their
Yeah,
shoulder, the inside shoulder, the one that you're attacking, to be on the floor. And new
you want to figure four your
figure
legs, and she
four,
couldn't
or
really
I mean,
figure four
even
her
if you can
legs
just
that
extend
well
them
either.
straight. And so ideally, like
Yeah,
you want to put their shoulder on the ground, and then you also want to be able to control their you want to be able to control them. So like me, normally I'll reach for the hip, then slowly work my way up to their far shoulder to finish it. But regardless, like you need to kind of control their shoulders and their hips, and she was never really doing that a great job with that, and she never really got close to putting Nunez's
no,
shoulder on the floor.
and it
I
goes
mean,
over
and
your
that's
wrist.
yeah,
I
you can't
mean,
just tell people, hey, you can't have wrist
so I don't.
control in grappling scenarios. That'd be like
Yeah, so I mean,
that'd be ridiculous.
yeah, that's pretty dumb. But yeah, I mean, like just it was too
Yeah.
slippery though, And then at that point, also like when she had those omoplatas, I was really hoping, and maybe she doesn't have it, but like at that point, you're already getting beat up on bottom a little bit, like, and her leg was there to take a
Yeah.
few
Oh,
times. Like I was wondering, maybe just go for it. I mean, the transition was right there to underhook that leg
yeah.
and go to it, and I don't, and I think she really could have sat Nunez
Well,
on her
the
butt
thing
with it,
with
but you're already getting beat up. Risk
I
it
thought
is
maybe
my
a couple
thought.
times she
But
should have attacked a triangle a little bit more. But the thing with the omoplata dude, for those that don't know, is like to finish it. Generally, there's a few tricks, but generally you want to put their shoulder on the mat on the floor. So if you're attacking an omoplata on someone, you want their
yeah,
shoulder, the inside shoulder, the one that you're attacking, to be on the floor. And new
you want to figure four your
figure
legs, and she
four,
couldn't
or
really
I mean,
figure four
even
her
if you can
legs
just
that
extend
well
them
either.
straight. And so ideally, like
Yeah,
you want to put their shoulder on the ground, and then you also want to be able to control their you want to be able to control them. So like me, normally I'll reach for the hip, then slowly work my way up to their far shoulder to finish it. But regardless, like you need to kind of control their shoulders and their hips, and she was never really doing that a great job with that, and she never really got close to putting Nunez's
no.
shoulder on the floor. So
I wish, like you
I
said, I
thought
wish
that
she
I
would have went for the triangles
because
a little harder. Maybe she never really ever
exactly
grabbed her leg
that
to anchor herself to that
because
triangle,
I'll
so
tell
she
you,
kept posturing
when I was
and
watching it,
getting
I
out of
was
it.
a few times like, dang, dude, like there's there's an opening for a triangle. Yeah, yeah.
There was several
But I mean,
opportunities
I'm
there
assuming,
to
maybe
do it.
she really likes the omoplata. Maybe she's really good at finishing that. Maybe maybe that's her shit, and she felt comfortable doing that. But I did
Well,
feel like maybe that was a better option, or maybe like an Ashi entry, or something like that to attacking a leg. But regardless, what
yeah, I
happened
would have.
was Nunez
Yeah,
just she took her belt back. There's no discussions about that. She was she at the end of the day, she did more damage on the ground and then obviously on the feet. Although Pena did land a few good shots, but Jesus Christ, dude! I mean, how many times did Nunez drop her? Like several times she dropped her, and she was dropping her with pretty much the same punch over and over. I think all but one time it was yeah,
yeah, that lead hook
yeah.
from
I
Southpaw.
mean, and she was just
Yeah,
really Dupainez walked into it a few times when she probably really shouldn't have. I do think one time I think she switched up. I think she kind of feinted that and then hit her with the left from Southpaw. I think, or something. Yeah, she
straight
threw. She
two.
took her
Yeah.
down with the left hand one time around like the third round or something like that.
Well, I remember she was Pena was chasing her
Yeah.
in one of those little flurries. She kind of rushed in like she does, and then she might have went orthodox and hit a two. I can't remember. I just remember she peeled off when she was getting chased and cut that angle, and then I can't like you said I can't remember if it was the left two but it was a two, and she peeled off and stuck her and it dropped her. But
Payne's just
yeah,
rushed in a little too much. But I think that my biggest takeaway from it is because I thought the first time, not that it was a fluke, but I thought that I kind of just thought that it didn't look like Nunes wanted to be there as bad as Pena. You know, so okay, let me ask
hopefully
you
there's
this:
a
Do
rematch
you
down the road.
think so? Pena wins the first one. Nunes is like, hey, I had injuries, I had COVID. If I wouldn't have had COVID, that wouldn't have ever happened. After seeing the second fight, do you think now that what Nunes said about the COVID and the injury affected that fight greater now that you've seen the second one?
It's definitely a possibility, man. I mean, I have a friend who took a fight, had COVID, and then like probably 2 weeks out from the fight, had COVID, took the fight anyway, didn't pull out, and the gas tank was greatly affected. But I mean, so it definitely could have been a rough game.
Well, I guess that's about it. There any parting shots, any announcements you want to give to the people out there?
Let's see. Any parting shots or announcements?
We got Big Cheese and the Greyhound Gone Wild coming out soon for all our X-rated content. We'll post some
We'll be
information
on
about that shortly.
Snapchat Premium. We'll be on
Yes.
there. We'll be on. We're gonna make a TikTok. We're gonna switch over to being influencers real soon. We're actually because we have such an influx of money coming in from our sponsors and listeners. We're probably gonna have to move out to West Hollywood really soon. But we just find it hard to shop for the luxurious items that we now need in our lives here in Alabama. So that being said, that's all the announcements we have. We'll be moving to California. So tune in next week, and thank y'all for listening. See y'all soon.
Later.